And welcome back to another live stream. This is going to be an interesting one. The first double game week of the season. To be honest, a bit of an underwhelming start to the doubles, I will admit. But a double gun week? Oh god, that's not a good start, is it? A double game week nonetheless. Do say hello, let me know where you are tuning in from as well. And then we'll crack on with all of your lovely questions ahead of the double game week. And also talk about what my plan is for this week. Not particularly exciting, I'll be honest. But that means I do always say, if there's a week where I'm not doing anything overly exciting, it means I can fully give my attention to you and answer all of your questions. Because otherwise, you've usually got me panicking as well as trying to answer your questions, and those two don't always go very well. We have actually already had a Raptor X member join. Welcome, FIFA Score. Thank you so much, by the way. That is very, very generous. Make sure to message me so that we can get you added to the Discord chat, and also so that I can thank you personally as well. I appreciate it. Lateness will not be tolerated. Hang on a second, I was very on time. Outrageous claims. Is this a new microphone? No. Does it sound better or worse? It's the same microphone. Is egg flagged too? Chat, come on now. This isn't the way we want to start our morning. Hello from Finland. Do we have any Saka news? We do. We'll discuss Saka in a second. I've got some great news for you. Do we have any Botman news? Only what we got yesterday in the press conferences, but there we go. I'm 2 hours late. That's just not true. Ross, how are you? I'm actually good. Thank you for asking. I appreciate it. That's very sweet of you. I'm all good. I'm a little bit tired, but I always tend to be on these Saturday live streams, I'll be honest. Right. Let's move over to, actually, Twitter. Let's do that first. So yesterday, there's a member of the community called Tommy Gunn. He's I don't know if his name's Tommy Gunn. I think his name's Tommy, and he's an Arsenal fan. But he camped outside where basically the Arsenal bus was arriving in Bournemouth and managed to snap videos of Saka and Saliba arriving with the squad. So here's the first video. That is Saka arriving with the squad and signing stuff. And then you can also see, he looks like he's limping a bit. I'll be honest. But anyway, let me run it back. This is Saliba. There's a bit of a limp going on there. No, I'm joking. I think it's more of a cool man walk than a limp. But that was Saliba arriving. Also Rice arriving as well. So apparently, those three have arrived with the squad. Apparently, rumours are saying that they were in training yesterday. I would be very, very surprised if Saliba, Rice, and Saka don't all start. That's just my prediction. So I wouldn't be selling Saka and I wouldn't be selling Saliba. And I would feel fairly comfortable starting them. On Botman, I think, I don't know if I actually tweeted it. The news we basically got is that Botman is being assessed and it will train on Friday. And basically, assuming he gets through that training okay, I think we'll decide whether he features in Game Week 7. So I think Botman will probably be okay as well, would be my prediction. Explained Everything has become a Raptor 2 member. Thank you very much. I appreciate you and welcome. Hello from Australia. Super hot at the moment. It's not super hot in the UK. It's actually dropped quite a bit in the UK. Hello, Marcus. Good to see you in the chat, my man. Do you have any Callum Wilson news? So Callum Wilson was put in the same boat as Botman. Basically, both of them would be assessed on Friday, and they both have a good chance of being available. So my prediction is that both Botman and Wilson will start, and I think Wilson will only get 60 minutes, but I don't know that at all. It will obviously depend. Like, if Wilson looked brilliant in training, felt really good, then he'll start. If he didn't feel good in training or he still felt his injury a bit, then of course he won't. But I would predict Dan Burn to start. I would predict Botman to start. Trippier and Schär, of course. And I think Wilson would start as well. I think it sounds like Isak is slightly worse off than Wilson based on the press conference. That was my interpretation anyway. That wasn't necessarily what Eddie Howe said. It was just my interpretation is that Wilson just looks a little bit further along than Isak. Hi, Ross from New Zealand. Good to see you, Clive. Always good to have you in the stream. Trippier captain. I hate it. I'll be honest. I don't like captaining a defender because, yes, Trippier got 3 assists in a single game recently, but he won't do that every game. Like, most games, you'll be lucky to get an assist because defenders obviously don't get returns every week. If he loses his clean sheet, all of a sudden your captain's in the bin. And I know you can say, well, you don't expect Burnley to score, but all you need is one slip-up. And it can be a literal slip-up. Like, if Fabian Schär fell on his face and then Anduni's through on goal, then all of a sudden they lose their clean sheet. It feels like you're so over-reliant on the clean sheet part that I don't tend to like captaining defenders. Also, I just think Haaland's a ridiculously good option. So yeah. Should I take Saka out? I wouldn't. I would keep him. He's travelled, like I said, he's travelled with the squad. I think he'll start. No, he's not great away from home, so I don't think this is like as good of a fixture as it could potentially be if it was a home fixture. And yes, then he's got Man City and Chelsea, but I don't necessarily think that I would be removing him personally. We have got a super chat. Says, oh, they've changed the way that the super chats look. That's interesting. Hi from New Zealand. Gusto and Mbermo to Ward-Prowse and Fabian Schär -4. I don't hate it. I don't think you need to take Mbermo out this week unless you need the funds to get to Fabian Schär. But in general, I think that's a fine -4. It's not something that I would try to put you off. Just bear in mind, like if you're planning on wildcarding in game week 8 or 9, I wouldn't be taking hits. Maybe game week 10 and beyond, I would be maybe looking at taking a hit. But you've got to think that when you take hits, they're not always guaranteed to pay back in the week that you take them. And the shorter the term, the period of time that you're looking at, the less likely it is to pay off. So I think I try to look kind of 4 to 6 game weeks if possible. Yeah. FIFA Score says, who to start between Mbermo or Maddison? Spurs and Maddison just look so good at the moment, don't they? And Mbermo doesn't. And also, it's at the City ground. So I would maybe lean benching Mbermo and starting Maddison. But the thing is, Mbermo's on penalties. So, again, all he needs is a pen. It's a difficult one. I'd probably bench Mbermo, though. Start 2 of Maddison, Sterling, Alvarez, and Mbermo. Maddison, Sterling, Alvarez, and Mbermo. I would start Alvarez and Maddison, probably, honestly. Maybe, I'll probably say like Alvarez, Maddison, Sterling, and Mbermo. Sterling and Mbermo arguably have the better fixtures on paper. It's just like, especially Sterling's just looked a bit stinky recently, hasn't he? So I don't think I can sit here and justify starting him, really. Alexander says Jackson to Wilson or Jackson and Chilwell to Morris and Trippier for a -4. Wildcard 10. I think that all comes down to how much you back Morris in this double. I don't overly like Morris as an option. I think if you can get to Morris easily and you like double game week players and you feel like it's a relatively straightforward transfer to make, then I think go for it. I think if you don't back Morris and you feel like you're just doing it for the sake of it, then Jackson to Wilson feels like a nice transfer. But do bear in mind that Wilson is coming back from an injury, and I doubt that he plays more than 60 minutes and he might not start at all. So these are all things you have to take into account when you make that decision. Michael says, would you do Bowen and Diaby on wildcard? I can afford them, as opposed to Ward-Prowse and Diaby, or Bowen and Gordon? Okay, so you want to know which combination of those players? Yeah, if you can afford Bowen and Diaby, I feel like that's probably the best set of that's the best combination of players there. Yeah, Bowen and Diaby. Yeah, I think Salah, Maddison, Son, Bowen, Diaby is arguably the best midfield that you could have on a wild card. Just bear in mind, though, you are going to want Saka at some point, and you're probably going to want one of Rashford and Fernandes back as well. So just think about how you might be able to possibly do that. Claudette says playing only 60 minutes never stopped Wilson from scoring. That's absolutely true. He doesn't need much longer, but I still would prefer to have my player on the pitch for longer than 60 minutes, regardless of how good they are. Even if it's Erling Haaland for 90 is better than Erling Haaland for 60. So I would still like to have my player on the pitch for as long as possible. Ankit says Saka and Chilwell to Gordon and Trippier -4. I don't like selling Saka, no. Not now that we know he's available. Other option is Chilwell to cash for free and Saka to Son next week. I prefer that. Chilwell to cash this week, Saka to Son next week. I definitely prefer that as a move. Your loyalty to Rashford and Bruno is commendable. I'm just following the mantra of how I play FPL. Do they have good fixtures? Yes. Do they get good minutes? Yes. Do they have good data? Yes. And I know they're playing in a Man United team that aren't necessarily performing at their highest, but it's not loyalty and it's not bias. It's just me playing the game how I play the game, I guess. I have 5 flag players. Do you think wildcard is the safest option? I don't think the flags really matter. I think Son will play, Maddison will play, Saka will play, Saliba will play. I think Botman will play. So if they're your 5 players, I would say you're almost guaranteed to get at least 3 of them start, probably 4. I would say that if you're watching this stream now, you're not just a casual FPL manager. And in that case, I think you should ignore flags. All flags do is scare FPL managers that aren't up to date with the news. Ignore the flag, look at the press conference updates that we have. And I genuinely do think that most of the flag players that we're considering at the moment will probably start. Start Cash or Estepinian? I would start Matty Cash. He's got the home fixture. He's had very similar, if not better, data to Estepinian recently. Yeah, I would back the home game. I would probably start Cash. Would you start Estepinian or Udogi? I would start Estepinian there. Because again, slightly better fixture, much more attacking. Udogi's data actually hasn't been that great in recent weeks. It started the season really, really well. But the last 3 or 4 game weeks, his data's not been great. So I would start Estepinian ahead of Udogi, which is why I've got it that way on my bench. Claudette says, Turner at home against Brentford or Johnston away to Manchester United? Yeah, my girlfriend's got exactly the same debate between Turner and Johnston. I would go Turner, just because he's got the home fixture, and I feel like Brentford haven't been that great recently, and we know how good Forest are at home. But Johnston tends to make more saves, so I think that's a tricky one. I would probably go Turner. If you're between Turner and Johnston. Would you start Matty Cash or Bayer? I'd back the doubler, start Bayer and hope that you get something, I think. Because Matty Cash's fixture isn't great still. Would you start Botman or Taylor/Kabore? I'd start Kabore out of all of those options. Probably Kabore, Botman, Taylor in that order. How's NanoRaptor shaping up this week, Ross? If you go over to my Twitter, you'll see it. NanoRaptor's actually wildcarded this week. So she's played her wildcard. Udogi had a yellow card early in the Arsenal game. That's why his data is worse. Why does the yellow card affect his data? It shouldn't do. Alf Wildcard says, just sending a super chat because I like your vibe. That's very sweet. Thank you for liking my vibe. I appreciate that. Who is the best defender for 4.7? I've got Botman already. Maybe Zuma. Don't mind a punt on Zuma. Or a Gerd or Emerson or Sofal. Probably a West Ham defender in all honesty. Or if you want to double up, you could go for Dan Burn. Dan Burn's place still looks like it's pretty secure, despite the fact that Newcastle fans don't particularly seem to back him. What's the best wildcard strategy? Is it best to hold it as long as possible till game week 20? I think I've maintained for a while now, game week 8 to 10 is probably the best period to wildcard. And then after that, there is a bit of a fixture swing in game week 14 that you could potentially wildcard for, but it's not massive and I think you can probably navigate. And then if you don't do that, it's game week 19. Because I think you want to triple captain Haaland in what will probably be a double game week for Man City in game week 20. So I think triple captain Haaland against Sheffield United and Brentford at home, which would be the fixtures in 20, makes sense. So you probably want to wildcard in 19. So I think either 8 to 10, 14 or 19. And it really does depend on your team. Gareth says, would you start Bayer over Estepinian this week? 1 a.m. live stream in California. Love the content. Thank you for tuning in all the way from California. I think, that is a really tough one. Do you know what? I think I would. I think I would back the doubler. Luton aren't great. Yes, they could score. Of course they could. But that is a decent chance for a clean sheet. You never know what you could get against Newcastle. Yeah, why not? I would be tempted to start Bayer over Estepinian. But it really depends, again, how you approach the game and whether you really like double game weeks anyway. Do you think there's something that's worth investing in? Colwill to Burn, can't afford Botman. Yeah, as I said, so the reason that I've been not so keen on Burn in recent weeks is when you speak to Newcastle fans, it's not that they dislike Burn, but they say that Burn is like really the weak link in their defence. And a lot of them have been calling for him to be rotated or dropped. But Eddie Howe seems to love him, and he doesn't really make too many mistakes. So I think Burn will continue to get good minutes. So I don't mind Burn instead of Botman. Jace says, 1 free transfer. Saka to Son seems the obvious one. Do you agree? Or should I keep Saka and roll and then get Son next week with like cash or something? I don't see the value in selling selling Saka for Son this week. Like, I don't think that Son's fixture is better than Saka's. So like, I don't think I would do it this week. It also gives you another week to see, does Son look as good as we think in this number 9 role? If Son's pushed back out to the left, all of a sudden you go, maybe I'll go for Maddison instead. So I feel like another week might be useful, and I don't think there's a massive upgrade by bringing Son in for Saka this week, in my opinion anyway. Mark says, Foden, Bowen, Maddison, Saka, Rashford, Alvarez, Morris, Haaland. Who would you bench? Dear Lord, that is horrific. Probably Maddison, in all honesty, which is a terrible thing to say, but I can't. Maddison or maybe Rashford, but probably Maddison, to be honest. Rashford and Gusto to Ward-Prowse and Trippier for a -4 wildcard in 19. Yeah, if you're wildcarding in 19, I like the idea of getting Ward-Prowse and Trippier. I'm not sure about selling Rashford though, but maybe you should. He's not been great recently, has he? Yeah, I don't mind that for a -4. Marcus says, what did you have for breakfast? I actually had some of the brownie. If you saw it on Instagram, then you know. I had a small slice of brownie for breakfast. I know it's outrageous. Who has brownie for breakfast? But I didn't have anything else in the house, and I wanted to eat something before the stream. So it is what it is. You know, don't judge me. If you had a nice brownie sat there, you would probably eat it. Any news on Saka actually playing? So just to confirm for those that have arrived late, because I know not everyone's was here at the start. We got this video yesterday of Saka, that's Saliba, of Saka arriving with the squad. There you go, that's Bukayo Saka. Arsenal arrive in Bournemouth. So Tommy Gunn was there, he's an FPL manager actually, and got that news for us. And also Saliba was arriving with the squad as well, as was Declan Rice. So again, just to confirm, I do believe that Saliba and Saka will start. I don't have any information on whether they will or not, other than the fact that they've travelled. But I just think Saliba, there's no point taking Saliba if you're not going to start him. I really don't see the value in taking him to sit on the bench if he's still struggling with an injury. So Saliba in particular, I'd feel confident he starts. Saka, do you know what? I feel equally confident about Saka. It's Saka. Saka's played something like 90 Premier League games in a row, or 90 games in a row. It might not be Premier League games. Like 90 games in a row for Arsenal. He just doesn't get benched even when he's not fully fit. God, chat, I'm still not fully well. Let me tell you that for free. Arteta is just a pathological liar. I'm not going to lie. Arteta does annoy me a bit with his press conferences. He over-exaggerates. It's not always lying, but he just over-exaggerates everything. Do you think Dan Burn will start? Yeah, Dan Burn was only out for... because of illness. So I think Dan Burn will be definitely good to start. Botman and Wilson, they were making like late calls on. I think Botman and Wilson will start as well. Honestly, I can't think of many flagged players with yellow flags that I don't think will start. I think Son, Maddison, Saliba, Botman, Burn, Saka, like, probably missed someone, but all of those like key players that are flagged. I think people that are wildcarding because of flags are going to regret it. If you're wildcarding because you want to change your team anyway, and maybe you've got like Gusto, Jackson, those kind of flags, obviously, like they're suspended. But I think people that are wildcarding because of like Botman, Saliba, Son, Saka, I think people are just panicking for no reason. And especially if you're in a position like me, like if one of my flag players does miss out, I've got Estepinian on the bench, who I would love to have in my team. So I think as long as you've got 1 or 2 decent bench cover as well, you're set. And remember, you've got transfers to use and you can take a hit as well. Like, I think in almost every case, unless you really want to change loads of your team, I'd much rather take a -4 than wildcard. But again, if you want a wildcard this week, it's not a terrible week to wildcard. I just think game week 8 to 10, but specifically game week 9 and 10 are just slightly better because they're post-international break. So I think you just get a little bit more information. What if I took a -8 and the next day decided to play a wildcard? Will I still be at a -8? It's in the same game week. No, so just to confirm, I did tweet about this. If you take a hit in a game week and then you wildcard or free hit in the same game week, it wipes out your hit. Because the way that the game is coded, right, it's a single game week. So if you've taken a hit this week and then you play a chip before the deadline, the game's coded in such a way that you've played a chip for that game week and it takes all of your transfers for that week into that chip. So basically, if you ever take a hit and then regret the hit, or take a hit and then decide you want to play a chip, you can feel free to play the wildcard or play the free hit, and it will wipe out that hit that you've made. So if you're sat there on a -8 now and you're thinking, actually, I don't think I want that hit, I want a wildcard, then yeah, you can wildcard. That is one of the good things about the game, is that it kind of half allows you to change your mind. All I would say is you can't reverse those chips. So once you activated the chips, you activated them. So just be careful there. I think triple captain and bench boost are the only two that you can reverse once you've activated them. Rashid says Alvarez or Darwin for this game week. For this game week, Alvarez, but longer term, I actually do really like Darwin, to be honest. I'm a big fan of Darwin. FPL Pickle says explaining skills are 10 out of 10. Why, thank you, Pickle. I do my best. That's the lecturer coming out in me. Please start Saka or Mbermo. I would start Saka. Is Gvardiol starting for Man City? I'll be honest, I've got absolutely no Man City news. I've asked my source to stop giving me the news and just tweet it himself. So FPL Main Road is the guy. I'll share his Twitter quickly. This is the guy. So he made an account this season. But last season he had his personal account that he used to message me the news on. But this is the guy, FPL Main Road. Feel free to follow him. I just asked him to stop giving it to me because it just wasn't worth the stress of people complaining. I was actually getting abuse in DMs because of the way that I was delivering the City news. It's just not worth it for me. Like, I'm not an early team news account, I'm an FPL account. So I've just told him to leak it. So if you ever want to see if there is any early team news, if he gets it, he'll tweet it straight from his account. Yeah. So basically, I've got no Man City team news. There are 10 million players in FPL at the moment. Are there? Did we hit 10 mil? Oh, mine's still not updating, but I trust you. I trust that you're not lying to me. Start Botman or Estepinian. I think that's comfortably Botman for me. Back the clean sheet there. Hey, Ross, I have Edouard and he's red flagged. What would you do with him? Has Forest after his injury? I actually don't think Forest are that bad, to be honest. But depends. If you've got a decent bench option, then cover him with the bench. If you're having to sacrifice this week, then I would maybe look to get rid. You can get Morris in if you can stretch to an Alvarez. Like, I do like Edouard, but I don't think he's such a good option that it's worth hanging on to him, even if he's like sacrificing your team. Does Edouard being out impact Eze? That's a good question that I honestly don't know the answer to. Any Palace fans in the live stream? Firstly, let me know if you're a Palace fan. Secondly, if you are a Palace fan, do you think Edouard being out will affect Eze's output? Will it make him a better option? Will it make him a worse option? Obviously, Eze's on penalties regardless, so it won't affect Eze's penalty taking. But do you think that'll affect his output? If it makes him a better option, that's interesting. Mbermo to Diaby for free. Also, should I hold Doku? Mbermo to Diaby for free sounds fine, but it also does sound like a bit of a sideways move this week. So I'm a bit hesitant on it. But I like it longer term. I do prefer Diaby to Mbermo longer term. Should you hold Doku? Maybe this week, but not any longer than that, because Grealish is back now. And I still feel like Grealish is probably first choice, or at least enough to provide rotation with Doku. And again, Pep has commented on the fact that Foden can play on the left and Bernardo Silva can play on the right. So it could even be that both Doku and Grealish are benched in a single week. So yeah, I don't think Doku's a long-term hold at all anymore. I don't think he ever was, to be fair. I think always when you brought him in, you knew it was kind of a short-term move. AI thinks Morris from Luton this week. What do you think, Ross? Any AI, any algorithm, any website will always back the double game week player. The way that AIs work out who's going to get the most points, if you don't know this, by the way, most AIs anyway, they basically run like thousands and thousands of simulations. So like they simulate almost, you know, like when you do on FIFA or Football Manager, you simulate a game and they'll do it over and over again. And they'll see all of these different outcomes, the highest outcome possible, sort of the lowest outcome possible. And they go through all these simulations. And obviously, if a player's got 2 chances and that player's on penalties and that player gets good minutes and that player has good fixtures, generally the algorithm will always think that they've got a higher average projected points. So you'll see if you go onto Fantasy Football Hub, the highest points projected players are like Kaminsky, Trafford, Morris, because they'll always back the double gaming players. So yeah, I'm not surprised at all. And again, I don't think I've ever sat here and said Morris is a bad option. I've just said I'm not fully on board with it because Luton aren't good. And yes, Everton and Burnley are good fixtures, but let me flip it round to you. If you're an Everton or Burnley fan, do you think you're winning those games? Yes. Would you feel, if you look at the clean sheet odds, Pickford actually has the highest clean sheet odds this week. And I know you'll laugh at that, but it just goes to say, if you remove your FPL bias away from hating Pickford, Everton have a very good chance for a clean sheet against Luton because Luton aren't a good attack. So I don't hate Morris at all. If you want to go for it, he's on pens, he's got good minutes, he's got good fixtures as well. I would just say temper your expectations that I don't think anyway Luton are going to go out and score sort of 6 or 7 goals in this double. Whereas could Man City score 6 or 7 goals against Wolves? Yeah, which is why there's no chance you'd ever see me selling Alvarez for Haaland. Selling Alvarez for Morris, I should say. I really don't want to put anyone off Morris, by the way. That's just my opinion on the Luton and Burnley double. What do we think, chat? I would love to know. Do you know what? Let me start a poll. How many double game week players will you own? How many double game week players will you own? I'll get to the super chats in a second, by the way. I know I've missed a few of them. 0. Yeah, what do you think? Are you on board with the double game week? Is it just Morris? Have you got more than a couple? When will you pick the winners for the 100k sub giveaway? Yes, there is a 100,000 subscriber giveaway. All you have to do is follow me on Instagram and like my 2-pin post. It will be after the Game Week 7 deadline. So I'll do it at some point this weekend. And then I'll put a post out on my Instagram story and maybe on Twitter saying who the winners are. Yes, and I can swear on my life it will be randomized. And also, like I said, anyone from any country could win it. So feel free to enter 3+. And I'll keep you updated with who the winners are. How many double game week players will you own for this game week? Lots of people saying 1. I assume that 1 is Morris, but also we're getting quite a few 0s. A couple of 3s. 2, both Luton defenders. Interesting. Yep, right. So there is a poll now. If you want to vote on that poll, please feel free to do so. And we can work out how many double game week defenders is the normal amount. Double game week defenders? I don't know why I said defenders. Players. Areola or Pickford? Ooh, Areola. Yeah. They're just a better defence, aren't they? I think the fixture is equally good. I think Luton at home versus Sheffield United at home, the 2 best fixtures in the league. But yeah, I think I would back Areola. And Areola makes more saves as well this season. How much money do you have in the bank? I've got 2 million in the bank. Is there anything anyone thinks I should do with my team, or do you think rolling makes sense? Please feel free to offer me some advice on what you would do in my team. I could even do, and I know this sounds crazy, Saliba to Trippier, and it would give me triple Newcastle defence. Now, I know people don't like triple defence, but bench 1 of Ivan says bench 1 of Mbeumo, Sterling, Saka, Maddison, and Bruno. Probably Raheem the Dream. Probably Sterling. He's just not been at it, has he? Also got 4.7 million in the bank. Is it worth taking a -4 hit to bring in Salah or Son for anyone. Do you know what? You could take out Sterling. No, you can't afford that, can you? I was going to say Sterling to Salah. No, I would probably leave it for this week. I would bench one of your 5, and then I would readdress it next week and try and bring in Son and or Salah next week for a -4 next week if you need to. Sorry, just rearranging my microphone. Apologies if that was loud. Saka or Mbeumo. Why is my microphone being weird? Saka or Mbeumo to Son for free. Not this week. Listen, like, it's not a bad fixture, but one sec. We'll look at the data in a second, because Liverpool haven't been shocking defensively this year. So I think people are looking at this as Liverpool from last year, but I think they have improved slightly defensively. But we'll look into it in a second. But I don't feel the need. Like, if I didn't have Son this week, I don't think you have to go out and do it this week, especially when you're selling players like Saka. So not for me. Bruno to Bowen for 1 week punt. No, I would just keep Bruno. Into thoughts of the wild card or taking a -8, -12. I don't think you need to take a -12. I think they're probably luxury transfers. If your team is in such a state that you're having to take a -12 just to field a decent team, then you probably are getting towards wildcard territory. Cash or Kabore? Luton double game week, but Cash could be right wing. I'd back Kabore. I'd back Kabore ahead of Cash. Sterling to Son / Saka, sorry, Sterling to Son, Saka to Salah, or leave it for the week. Oh, Saka to Salah is nice. So Sterling to Son. I think you need to think about what your long-term plan is. If you're planning on wildcarding soon anyway, you maybe don't need to make the Salah move. But if you're not planning on wildcarding soon, then getting Salah in place might be a good move. Bro, stop glorifying Manchester United assets. I'll discuss Man United assets in a minute, because it's very, very frustrating that it comes across as, or it's interpreted as, bias. Because if you look at FPL Harry's team, he's a massive Chelsea fan. He's got Bruno and Rashford sat in his team, right? FPL Focal's an Arsenal fan. He's had the same. Like, it's not a Manchester United thing. It's not because I'm a Manchester United fan. These assets are in a lot of people's teams, especially sort of FPL experts or players that have played for a long time, for a reason. It's not to do with me being a United fan. If I was a Man United fan, if I was letting my bias affect me, I'd have Højlund. I'd love to have Højlund in my team. So if I was being biased, you'd see Højlund up top for me. Saka to Bowen for 1 week, wildcard next week. Listen, I get the desire to go Saka to Bowen, but is Bowen that much of a better option than Saka? Like, are you that confident that that Bowen's gonna outscore Saka? No, not really. Sorry if you can hear that. There's a whole host of bikes going past. Right, we wanted to look at Liverpool's defensive data, because I checked it a couple of weeks ago and it wasn't that bad at all, but it might have deteriorated since then. Right, so if we look at, here we go. So, and bear in mind that Liverpool haven't had the strongest start to the season at all, right? Their fixtures, what have their fixtures been? So their fixtures have been Chelsea, Bournemouth, Newcastle, Villa, Wolves, West Ham. West Ham, Newcastle, Villa, and maybe to some extent Chelsea, they're not great fixtures. So despite not having great fixtures, they are the 5th best defence in the league. Right? They've only conceded in 6 fixtures 7 expected goals. So they are an equally good defence so far this season to Newcastle. So this isn't the same Liverpool team. And it's one of the reasons that I actually don't mind a punt on Trent. If you decide to go without Salah, or you decide to go without Trippier or Son, and you've got a bit of money in the bank, once Trent's back, we know how good Trent is. And the data so far this season is good for Liverpool. They aren't a terrible defence this year. And it's another reason, as I was saying, that I don't think you need to rush out and get Son this week. It's not to say that Son can't score, and it's not to say that I don't think he's a good option, but I wouldn't rush out the likes of Saka this week for Son, in my opinion, anyway. If you've got like 2 free transfers and you want to make a move, then go for it. But yeah. Oh, sorry. Let's go back. I wanted to also look at Man United assets because, you know, I'm getting... Oh, my camera's gone. Because I'm getting battered repeatedly in the comments for for Manchester United, and I just wanted to look into it a little bit. Did I miss a super chat? Okay, no, we're all good. Yeah, camera's overheating. I've got it. Thank you, chat. I appreciate you. So if we go back to players and look at... Oh, that's nice. Fantasy Football Hub broke for me for a second there. If we look at players and then sort by per 90 and then go expected goal involvement and hide low expected minutes players. So this is the list of players. This does take into account penalties, which is why it's obviously like higher for Saka and João Pedro and stuff like that. But you can see Fernandes is on there at number 5. That's why. That's why he's in there. It's not to do with me being a biased Manchester United fan. It's to do with the data, which maybe frustrates you equally, but he is very high up there. And Rashford will be just slightly down. Rashford's in like 13th, 14th. So this is why I'm happy holding on to them, because if the fixtures are there and the minutes are there, then they're worth holding on to. And remember, this is per 90. And is my camera going to work now? Yes. And a lot of these players don't get 90 minutes. So João Pedro's on there, yeah, but he's not getting 90 minutes. Matoma's on there, but he doesn't always get 90 minutes. Isak's on there, but he's not going to get 90 minutes. So then when you sort it by total XGI, all of a sudden, Rashford comes a little bit higher. Fernandes is still there in 5th. And I just think they're decent options. That's it. I know people don't like it, but hopefully it's at least semi-clear why I've still got those assets. I do agree that Rashford doesn't look quite at it. I'll definitely say that, right? Rashford is a very confidence-based player, and you can sometimes see that, like, almost like that spark in his eye. Like, Rashford sometimes got it and sometimes he doesn't. And I will admit at the moment it doesn't look like he's got it, but he's also still a decent player. He's still putting up data and he can turn it on at certain points. So it's difficult to justify taking him out before this set of fixtures. Start Estepinian or Cash or Udogie. I would start probably Matty Cash from those options. Jackson to Wilson, Darwin or Morris, wildcard in game week 10. If you're wildcarding in 10, I think you go for Darwin or Wilson. I'd be tempted by Darwin in all honesty, but maybe Wilson's got the better fixtures. But then Isak could start one. I would go Darwin. I'd go Darwin. Bench one out of the 3, Saka, Matoma and Mbeumo, and why? I would bench Matoma because I think he's got one of probably the trickiest fixture there, and his data hasn't been great despite getting the attacking returns. So, yeah, I'd probably bench Matoma out of those 3. With Barnes out for 3 months, is Gordon a good pickup? Yep, I really like Anthony Gordon. Just remember, he is on 4 yellows. So if he picks up a yellow at any point in the next, how many games they got? 12 games, then he gets suspended. Only suspended for 1 game, of course. Hey, lad, I've got Trippier. Okay, you've given me your team from Jerome. Is Chilwell to Cash, Saka to Son, and then a -4 hit, Sterling to Gordon good? Wildcard 9 to 10. Yeah, do you know what? I don't mind it. Like, I don't think you need to take out Saka this week. I don't think you need to take out Sterling this week, but it does set you up well. If it was my team, in all honesty, I wouldn't take out Sterling or Saka. I would be looking at something. I would probably be looking at something like Chilwell to Estepinian or Chilwell to Zuma, and then I would roll the second free transfer. So that's what I would do, Jerome. But I do like your set of moves as well. Flabberdoodle says Rashford and Mbeumo to Son and Gordon for a -4. Rashford and Mbeumo to Son and Gordon for a -4. I don't love it. I'll be honest. I don't love it. You're taking out a penalty taker in Mbeumo and Rashford, who's really good at home for a decent home fixture, for Son against the decent Liverpool attack, and Gordon, who could get suspended, and it's a hit. It's okay. I think longer term, it does set you up nicely. And I think next week, you would prefer to have Son and Gordon than Rashford and Mbeumo. But I don't know that you need to make those moves this week. I wonder, can you just roll the transfer and do it for free next week? Warwick Scott says, Bruno, Saka, Maddison, Son, and Mbeumo, who to bench? I think it's Maddison or Mbeumo there. Maybe Maddison, but probably Mbeumo. By the way, on this poll at the moment, 43% of people are going to have 0 double game week players. 42% have 1. 13% have 2. And then 2% have 3+. So it looks like just over half of people will have some kind of double game week player. And I am not one of those people. Chat, what do we think I should do with my team then? Do you think I should roll? Or do you think there's something interesting that I could do? I'm all ears. Always happy to hear what you think. Wildcard team. Areola, Kabore, Trippier, Cash, Gordon, Diaby, Salison, Madison, Alvarez, Darwin. Bench of Botman, Archie, Udoggy. Comments. Nope, looks like a perfect... Yeah, virtually a perfect wildcard team. I do like the idea of Darwin rather than Alvarez, actually, if you want to risk it. I would start Botman ahead of Cash, though, personally. But other than that, yeah, really nice. Is Saka playing? Saka has travelled with the Arsenal squad. We know that much, but I don't know that he's starting. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll get that news. We may do. Your team's fine. Roll. Sterling to Bowen. Yeah, I could do Sterling to Bowen. I just think it's not terrible. Oh, I don't know. I've got a bit of like Stockholm syndrome with Sterling. I just can't get rid of him. I can't get rid of those three midfielders. It bloody Sterling, Fernandes, Rashford. I just can't bring myself to remove them. Do you know what it is? It's like the endowment effect and like gambler's fallacy, and it's like I feel like they're due. I feel like I've invested in them to this point. Right? I feel like I've got to keep them. It's terrible. It's not the way to play FPL at all. But I'm struggling. I really am to remove any of them, especially with the fixtures. I think if at any point their fixtures had gone downhill, it makes it so much easier to sell them. It's just the fact that, like, we saw last week, Fernandes is an excellent player. We've seen that Sterling can turn it on. It's just like selling them for a nice fixture run seems strange to do. On wildcard, do I get Darwin in straight away or start with Højlund and move to Darwin in 9 or 10? I don't think we've seen enough from Højlund to suggest that he's an excellent player. Darwin, we know how good he can be if he finishes his chances. So I would just start with Darwin, I think, on a wild card. Kane. I assume that's Harry Kane. Harry Kane, welcome. Thank you for becoming... That's loud. Nice. Sorry, chat, if you can hear that. Thank you for becoming a Rap Tier 2 member. I appreciate it. Is Maddison playing? So Maddison and Son were in training. I wonder if I can find the clip. Just to show you. Postecoglou. Where's the clip that I'm looking for? Oh, I'm not going to be able to find it now. He basically said, oh, here we go. Okay, I don't know if you heard that. So basically, Maddison and Son have been in training. It will depend how they pull up. But the important thing that makes me think that they'll be fine is the quote right at the end of that. He said they got through everything they needed to get through. So for me, that makes me feel comfortable enough that Maddison and Son will be fine based on that end quote that he's already... Because often what managers will say is they'll say that a player's going to train and then we'll see how they do in the training. But Postecoglou said there, they've already trained and they got through everything that they needed to get through. So unless we get any news before the deadline, then I would feel okay starting Maddison Son. But again, I still don't think this is an excellent fixture. I think people are underestimating Liverpool's defence slightly. Mr. Max has gifted a Rap Tier 1 membership and it's CDM Bluebird that got it. Very nice. No one's gifted a membership for a while. If you didn't know, you can sort of buy and gift memberships to other people. And Max has gifted a membership. So thank you very much, Max. I appreciate you. And CDM Bluebird, you can feel free to say thank you. Because you've just been gifted a membership. Steve says, good morning, Ross. Good morning, Steve. Who's the best replacement for Chilwell? I already have Botman and Trippier, 1.5 million in the bank. Who's the best replacement for Chilwell? I would say you've already got Botman and Trippier. Okay, I would probably go either Cash or Zuma. Would be my favourite two choices there. Or if you can try and find a way to find a bit of extra funds, Trent. How much more would you need? 1.57. You'd need to find like almost a mil. But if you could find that, I genuinely think Trent is a really cheeky differential. I know he's expensive. I know. And you have to sacrifice elsewhere. But Liverpool, if Liverpool can continue being the 5th or 6th best defence in the league, Trent will get close to essential this season because we know how attacking he is. The only thing that's been missing in recent like year and a half, 2 years is Liverpool just haven't been at it defensively. CLCC says, do you know Sterling is confirmed at striker? No, definitely not. I've seen 3 predicted lineups, and in all 3 predicted lineups, Sterling has been the striker. But I do think there's a chance we see like Cole Palmer as the false 9. I don't think Broja's ready, but I think there are various setups and combinations that we could see. I think Pochettino commented on the fact that they can play with or without a striker. So it may well be that Sterling... It might be like Sterling and Mudryk out wide, but they're almost like playing as like inside forwards and then someone else in the 10. So no, there's no confirmation on the way that City will line up. Matoma to Gordon, what do you think? Yeah, I like Matoma to Gordon. I think that sounds like a nice transfer. Hayden has become a Rap Tier 1 member. Thank you very much, Hayden. I appreciate that. Welcome. And again, make sure to either message myself or Harris or Frosty to get yourself added to the chat. Do we have any news on Botman? The only news that we have on Botman is what we had in the press conference yesterday, which is that he was going to be in training on Friday and there would be a late assessment, but that Eddie Howe feels like they've got every chance of being made available. So I think it looks okay. I feel fairly comfortable. Thoughts on Colwell for this week? It's an okay fixture. Away at Craven Cottage, I don't mind it. Max says, Gordon or Bowen in for Saka? I don't like selling Saka this week. I think Saka will play, honestly. I genuinely do think he'll start. I mean, I would love everyone to sell Saka. Saka's at 80% ownership, and since I sold him, he's just been battering my rank. So, listen, I would love everyone to sell Saka, but if I'm doing my job as a content creator, I'm trying to give you the best advice. I'm not convinced that I would sell. But if you are going to, Bowen for this week I prefer. The next 3 or 4 weeks I prefer Gordon. The next 8 weeks I prefer Bowen. So if it's a 1 week punt, Bowen. If it's a 3 or 4 week punt, Gordon. If it's a 6+ week punt, then I prefer Bowen. By the way, guys, if you are enjoying today's stream, can I please ask you to drop a like on the stream? We've actually only got like 350 likes on this stream, which isn't a lot at all. And it just pushes the live stream out to more people. So if you are enjoying today's stream, please drop a like. And also make sure to subscribe as well. Of course, we did hit recently 100,000 subscribers, which I'm very grateful for. But you can still obviously subscribe. And I would appreciate it. Hugo says, would you start Sanchez or Areola? Hi from Australia, by the way. Hello to you in Australia. I would start Areola, personally. Gordon or Ward-Prowse? It's the same as what I just said with Gordon and Bowen. I think the issue is the next 3 fixtures for West Ham is Sheffield United, Villa and Newcastle. So yes, this fixture's good, but the 2 after that aren't. But then from game week 10 onwards, I do. Let me just get the fixtures up rather than just rambling. I can show you. So Sheffield United, obviously great. These 2 aren't great. Newcastle and Villa are not good fixtures. But then from 10 onwards, it's Everton, Brentford, Forest, Burnley, Palace. Then even after Spurs, you've got Fulham and Wolves. So really up until game week 17, the fixtures are great for West Ham. But if you're looking at wildcarding in 10, this is, as a 3, not as great as maybe you would first think. This is excellent, obviously, but it's just these 2 put me off. So I think over the next 3, if we look at like Gordon's fixtures, Burnley, West Ham, Palace, 2 of them being at home, It's definitely a better set of fixtures. But of course, Gordon is on 4 yellows. So if Gordon gets suspended in either of the next 2, then you're going to miss him for one of the games, obviously. Edison or Areola? Areola. Is it stupid to start Leno ahead of Pickford? Just got a feeling. If you've got a feeling, go for it. But yeah, I don't think that's a great decision, personally. Although, like, listen, Chelsea haven't been scoring, so I get it. I do get it. But no, I think you back the fixture in this situation. Thought you were going for Zuma, mate. That was I think that was my wildcard draft that you probably saw, which was this one. If I was on wildcard, it would be something like this. This was actually before we got the Botman news. So now that we've got news that Botman might be fit, I'd actually maybe be tempted to have Botman instead of Cher. But yeah, this is roughly what I would go with on a wildcard. I think this is probably what you're talking about with Zuma. Any confirmation for Saka? Saka has travelled with the squad, but we don't know if he's going to start. So the only confirmation we've got is that he's there with the squad. Please talk me out of captaining Morris. Should we run a captaincy poll? My only thing for talking you out of Morris is that it's Erling Haaland playing against Wolves. How have Wolves been defensively, actually? Let's check that out quickly. Teams. Expected goals conceded. Yeah, see, Wolves have been the 5th worst defence in the league. So they're 15th for expected goals conceded. They've only conceded 76 shots. I say only. Oh no, that's they've had 76 shots. Let's go to defensive attempts conceded. Yeah, they conceded 98 shots. Wolves aren't a great defence. What about away versus at home? Oh, Wolves have been pretty... No, actually, because that's... Okay, per appearance. Okay, they're not great at home. They're just not a good defense. Okay, I was just making sure that it wasn't like we were really good at home or really good away kind of thing. Yeah, I just think it's Erling Haaland, isn't it? But let's run a poll. Captaincy poll. Chat, who are you captaining this week? Just so that I know who to put as the 3rd option. So I'll have Haaland. I'll have Morris. Is there a standout 3rd captaincy option? Mo Salah. Yeah, we can put Salah. Right, I've put a captaincy poll in the chat. Make sure to vote. Max has become a Rap Tier 2 member. Thank you very much, Max. I appreciate that. Welcome. Welcome to the family. Lots of people saying Trippier. That doesn't make me feel very good because I don't even own Trippier. CLCC says bench 1, Bruno, Sterling, Son, Wissa, Alvarez, Maddison. Wissa. Giandro says, who do I bench? Foden, Sterling, Saka, Maddison, Bruno. I think it's Maddison or Sterling there. Maddison or Sterling. Just comes down to how you see those 2 games going. Are you actually starting Saliba, Botman, and Son? Yeah, I think they'll be fine, honestly. Do we have City team news about who has travelled and who didn't? No, I don't think so. That probably tells me that it's not, that there's no big surprises. Estepinian or Cash, what do you think? I think I would just lean the home fixture. And his data's been pretty good in recent weeks, I think. Let me double check that, because I might have made that up. Oh, actually, yeah, it was pretty good against Palace, wasn't it? So what we're kind of just seeing at every other game kind of thing, which if you believe in patterns, it is called apophenia. But you can see a 0.74 did a little bit less against Everton. Then 1.37 against Burnley, which is when he got his 2 goals. Then 0.06, then 0.72, then 0.07. So if he's going of this pattern of every other game, Matty Cash could do something quite big here. But his data in general, you can see, he's got a 0.55 non-penalty expected goal involvement per 90. Whereas I think Estepinian's is pretty similar, you know. But the last... Actually, a lot... maybe it's slightly skewed here. A lot of it's come from that Luton game, hasn't it? Like, outside of that, the last... He didn't do too badly against Bournemouth, actually. But these 3 games here against West Ham, Newcastle and United, you know, ahead of Estepinian. Max says, Trippier or Fabian Schär in for Chilwell, wildcard in game week 10. Oh, no, don't do that. Sorry, chat. My OBS just is playing up. I hopefully only cut out for a second there. Fingers crossed, it will behave itself now. Let me know that you can still hear me and see me. It just, my OBS temporarily dropped out for like 5 seconds. That wasn't my internet. It's really annoying. Basically, the software that you stream, OBS is the software that you stream through, and sometimes it just doesn't deliver the stream correctly. Right. Hopefully, you're all good. You're fine now. Thank you. Perfect. Starting Burmo or Morris? I think if you've got Morris, you've got to start Morris. You've got to start Morris. How about Almiron? I don't mind Almiron. I actually brought Almiron in on draft this week. Again, Almiron's data's just not quite been there. Decore at Everton is promising. Decore's data's actually been pretty good as well. Yeah, don't mind it. 100k subs, no new camera. Oh, I know. I need to... It's annoying because it's a good camera. It's just it's something to do with the software or the cable or something. Last time I saw this much lagging, it was Sheffield United defenders. That's outrageous. Oh, we've got a big super chat from Frosty. What a man. Activated my wild card. Interesting. Okay. Areola, Cash, Botman, Kabore. Perfect. Salasson, Foden. Foden. Interesting. Salasson, Foden, Bowen, Gordon. I like the Bowen punt in there. Haaland and Morris. Udogi, Estepinian, Archer. Good luck this week. Thank you very much for the super chat. It's nice. Slightly different to what I would wildcard with, but most of the players are the same. I'm not surprised that you've gone for Morris. I know you like your double game week, so best of luck, mate. Joshua has become a Rap Tier 1 member. Thank you very much, Joshua. I appreciate it. Welcome. We've already had 7 new members in this chat, so to all of the new members, welcome. Hopefully you enjoy being a member. I brought Decore in on draft, says Marcus. Very nice, Marcus. That's actually a good transfer. It's a very nice transfer, especially with Luton and Bournemouth in the next 2. Saka or Maddison? Saka. Well, for this week, Saka, but longer term, I think maybe Maddison. Would you play Saka or bring in Son a week early? I would just play Saka and I'd bring in Son next week. I think Saka will start. Someone said, just join the stream. Do we have any Saka updates? Again, the only Saka news that we have is that he's travelled with the squad. That's it. But I think that's all we need to feel comfortable starting him. XIX Torment says, start 2 of Estepinian, Cash, Colwell, and Udogi. I'd probably go Estepinian and Cash. They're the 2 most attacking there. Chris says, who to bench? Estepinian, Saliba, Kabore. I would bench Estepinian. I definitely wouldn't bench Kabore. Should I consider doing Saka to Son for a -4? No. Not for me. Saka or Sterling to start? Saka. I'd start Saka ahead of Sterling. I'll be honest, Sterling sucks. He really does. He's not been good at all. I wouldn't... Like, if I had 2 free transfers, there's a good chance that I would use one of them removing Sterling. But because I only have the one, I just feel like I don't need to make that move this week. When are you wildcarding? Are you saving it for later? I'm probably going to wildcard in game week 10 is the plan at the moment. Maybe 9 if I'm pushed into it. But I think a game week 10 wildcard is currently the plan. I could try and save the wildcard till game week 19. I just think that I want to sort out my goalkeepers. I want to get Mohamed Salah. I want to get Diaby. I probably want Saka back. I probably want to change my forwards. I want to sort out my bench slightly. There's probably 9 or 10 changes I would make, and maybe 5 or 6 like key changes. So I feel like a game week 10 wildcard makes the most sense. Sterling's going big this week against the worst defence in the league. I wouldn't mind it, Marcus. Have they been that bad? Totals, home and away. Key stats. They're the second worst defence in the league after Sheffield United. But yeah, Fulham are arguably, well, yeah, like I said, they're the second worst defence. But I think these West Ham are really not defending particularly well, are they? Wow, I thought West Ham had been defensively okay. I think that's skewed by 1 or 2 fixtures, though, for West Ham. But yeah, Fulham aren't a good defence. Listen, if Sterling wants to go big, I would love it. I would love Sterling to go big. That would make me incredibly happy. Nothing would... Do you know what? Nothing would make me happier. Actually, you know, Fernandes going big would make me happier. Or Rashford. But other than that, Sterling, that would make me very happy. Who are you transferring in this week? I think the plan is probably to roll. And have 2 free transfers next week. But I could make a move. If I were to make a move, it would be Saliba to Trippier, which would be triple Newcastle defence. It would be Sterling to Bowen, which I don't mind. Or I could still do Mabama to Morris. I just think I'm just not feeling it massively. Because then I have to bench Sterling or Mbermo. And I don't really want to do that. So yeah, that's why at the moment I'm probably leaning no transfer. Flabberdoodle says, hi Ross, just wanted to say I appreciate you and your content and you are the reason I love FPL. May 200k come quickly. That is incredibly kind. Thank you so much for the super chat and literally just to say, do you appreciate me? So I appreciate you and thank you for watching. That's very, very sweet. Joshua says, hi Ross, I can't message on Twitter. How do I get in contact after having a membership? If you DM Frosty or Harris on Discord, they will get you added to the group chat. But if you just want to get in contact with me in general, Discord is probably the best way to do it. Yeah. Sorry, yeah, I know I missed a couple of super chats. Let me do it. Oh, why is YouTube playing up now? Okay, YouTube's playing up, chat. Give me a second. We've got a super chat from edoc21 says, "Hope you're well, Mr. Raptor. Should I sell Colwill this week?" Depends who you're bringing in. Depends what the rest of your team looks like. I don't think you need to sell him. He's got a chance for a clean sheet. And Chelsea have been the third best defence in the league this season. But yeah, I also don't think it's a terrible week to sell him. But I would probably keep Colwill in all honesty. Any Saliba news? Saliba has travelled with the Arsenal squad. That's the news that we have. So I would suspect that Saliba does start. And so I'm going to start him in my team. Bowen or Darwin or Maddison and Alvarez on the wildcard team. I would go... Ooh, probably Maddison and Alvarez, but I think that's really close pocket. I think Bowen and Darwin's more differential, so I don't hate it, but yeah, cool. I got the chat back. The YouTube just come up to me and just said chat disconnected, so I haven't seen the chat for the last like 2 minutes. I was just reading the old super chats. Yeah, I think Bowen and Darwin could be really high upside. It's very differential pocket, so I don't hate it. Start one of Estepinian, Cash, or Nakamba. Cheers, mate. Cash. I would probably start from those three. Eric says, start Udogi or Estepinian, Matoma or Gordon. I would start Estepinian ahead of Udogi and Gordon ahead of Matoma. Jack Martin says, hey, Ross, it's my birthday. Can I have a shout out? Happy birthday, Jack. Thank you for watching my stream on your birthday. And yeah, I hope you have a great day. Thanks for supporting the channel. I appreciate it. Richard says, Estepinian, Pinnock, Neto, which two would you play have Flecken in? I would go... I would still go Estepinian and Pinnock, I think. Yeah, Estepinian and Pinnock. Do you have any Man City team news? What Man City news are you looking for? Oh God, Chunks is in full meltdown mode. I'll tell them they should be watching my stream. You should be watching the stream, Chunks. I've told him he should be watching the stream. Would you start Bayer or Saliba? Stormzy said, "Oi, Raptor, let me get a shout out." So big out. Stormzy's watching. Hello, Stormzy. Good to see you, my man. There's your shout out. But oh God, I wanted to wait. Look. Oh God, that chat is the best thing that I've ever been in my life. Yeah, everyone say hello to Stormzy in the chat. Apparently, we're not saying hello to Chunks. Apparently, Chunks is not. Oh, right, let's get back to it. Big love to Stormzy though. What a G. What a man. Right. With one transfer, Saka to Son, I already have Maddison, or Saliba to share or roll. I think you can roll there, Liam. I don't think Saka to Son is a necessity this week, in all honesty. I don't think it is. Would you start Watkins or Sterling? That's a great question. Oh, I'd go Sterling just about Sterling, but I think that's a very, very close one. So I've just seen Chunks is in the chat. Raptors my go. Good to see you as well, Chunks. What was your question that you asked, Chunks? What did you asked Rashford or Bruno? I think Bruno, to be honest, actually now. I think I'd probably slightly prefer Bruno to Rashford. Just. Also, he's cheaper as well, isn't he? So you can save some money. Maddison and Son, Maddison and Fernandez, or Maddison and Rashford? I think it's Son. I think it's Son, Chunks. Yeah, I think I'd prefer Son to Fernandez and Rashi. Maybe not this week, but longer term, I think it's Son. Now Sharky wants a shout out. Big love to Sharky as well. I feel like I'm just shouting out everyone. If you could, would you transfer Sterling to Son? Again, I'm not saying that Son's got a bad fixture this week, but Liverpool have been better defensively this season. I don't feel like this is the week that you have to rush out and get Son. I know he's just come off of a massive haul, and he's got 2 big hauls recently. But if you look at his data, I know people are going to go mad if I keep talking about data. He's done well, but he's very much overperforming. I'm not expecting him to get another 15, 20 pointer. So I think you can probably wait a week if you want to get Son in. I don't think you have to rush out and do it. What's up, Storms? What am I helping with? Okay. I think you're fine, mate. Your team looks good. I'd bench Mbermo as well. Yeah, I would bench Mbermo as well, mate. If you're still watching, I would bench Mbermo. Great content, bro. Please advise the best week to wildcard. It's all team dependent. It's such a boring thing to say, but like I said, I think game week 8 to 10 is a nice period to wildcard across the next 3 weeks from next week. There's a slight fixture swing around game week 14, and then there's another fixture swing, not a fixture swing, but another good week to wildcard will be game week 19. So I think either 9 and 10, 14, or 19. I could bench boost. Yeah, you could bench boost, actually. The issue you've got with a bench boost is if you bench boost and Saliba or Botman or any of those players miss out, then you're screwed. And Wilson, like you've got a few injury doubts. So I don't tend to like bench boosting when there are injury doubts. What are we spinning the wheel for? Everyone's telling me to spin the wheel. What am I spinning the wheel for? I don't mind spinning the wheel, but I don't actually have a decision to spin the wheel for. Alex says, bench Diaby, Saka, or Mbermo. It's probably Mbermo there, you know. We Talk Football says Saka to Bowen. I wouldn't be selling Saka this week because I think he'll play. Brandon says Bowen, Diaby, or Gordon in for Trossard. Bowen, Diaby, or Gordon in for Trossard. I would go probably Bowen, you know? Probably Bowen. Richard says, taking a 2-week punt now, Saka out and Burma out, Son and Ward-Prowse in as I'm looking to wildcard in 9 or 10. Yep, Son and Ward-Prowse in looks good to me. I mean, you have taken out 2 penalty takers, but it is what it is. Sharky, my man, says, should I start Pickford or Areola this week? I'd start Areola, honestly, mate. Pickford just stinks, doesn't he? Let's be honest. Everton aren't great. I think they're equally good fixtures. I think Sheffield United... Actually, let's look at the data quick to help you with that. Because a couple of people are saying Areola or Pickford. If we go over to Hub, I just want to look at some of the attacking data. XG. So, actually... That's actually surprising. Wait, am I on per 90? No, totals. Yes. Let me go on to per 90 then. Sheffield United are the worst attack in the league. So I think not only does Areola have the slightly better fixture, I think West Ham are the slightly better defence. And although they haven't been, I don't know, I would go Areola. I would go Areola ahead of Pickford. Just. But I think whatever your gut feeling is on that. I just think they're a better defence with a slightly better fixture, West Ham. Callum says, hi Ross, huge congrats on 100k. Thank you very much, Callum. I appreciate it. I've done Saka to Diaby to afford Maddison and or Son in game week 8. One question for my team. Would you start Eze or Diaby? I would start Diaby ahead of Eze. Yeah, I would start Diaby ahead of Eze. Sorry if I missed a super chat. YouTube's broken. There's usually a separate place where I can look at the super chats, but now I have to see it in the chat. It's not allowing me to go to this separate place. So if I'm trying to not miss any, but if I have, I do apologize. Fuel Your Grind says Saliba and Sterling to Trippier and Bowen for a -4. Saliba and Sterling to Trippier and Bowen for a -4. Would have 0.9 in the bank. Would still have Saka. Yeah, I don't mind. I think Trippier and Bowen is an upgrade on Saliba and Sterling. But is Saliba against Bournemouth and Sterling against Fulham? Do you need to sell them this week for a -4? I'm not as sure, to be honest. It's one of those where I don't mind it, but I wouldn't do it. If it was my team, then you wouldn't find me doing it. Flabberdoodle has become a Rap Tier 1 member. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Again, make sure to message Harris or Frosty or one of the Discord moderators and they'll get you added to our Discord chat as well. Captain Trippier over Haaland. What are your thoughts? I told you I don't like captaining defenders personally. So I will always tend to favour, especially it's Haaland, isn't it? It's Haaland against Wolves, and Wolves are not good defensively. So yeah, I would back Haaland captaincy still. Okay, I won't say that on. Don't worry, Chunks. Don't worry, Chunks. I got you. How do we get into your Discord server? Harris, are you still watching? If any of the Discord mods are watching, can you link the Discord in the chat? If not, there's a link in the description for the Discord. There's a link in the description for the Discord, so... should you take out Sterling? It's a dodgy one, isn't it? Because his data's been good, and this is a decent fixture against a weak Fulham defense, but he's just not been good, has he? I think on a wild card, you definitely don't have Sterling, but I think as a transfer, I don't know that this is the week to rush Sterling out of your team. Gordon in for Mbermo. Yeah, he could go for it. I don't hate it. Saley said, please don't upload twice a day. It takes away my boyfriend time. Sorry for stealing your boyfriend. I do apologize. But, you know, is what it is. If your boyfriend prefers me to you, that's not my issue, you know? Trippier and Gordon for a hit. Sterling or Foden out. if you're going to sell Sterling or Foden, I think you sell Sterling. Do I like to sell Sterling as part of a hit? No, not massively. You guys know that I'm very hit averse. Like, I don't take a lot of hits. So most of the time, if you present a -4 or -8 to me, unless it looks like perfect on paper, I'll tend to say I'm not so sure. I'd be tempted to roll the transfer chunks. Or no, actually I wouldn't. I would do João Pedro to Alvarez or Morris or Højlund. I would do João Pedro to a striker of your choice. It's a shame you can't get to Darwin in one move. I'd like a Darwin punt. But any striker that you want, basically. Is Wilson injured? So Wilson has been injured, but apparently he's gonna. Oh, what was the exact quote? 1 sec. Let me see if I can find the exact quote. It was. Sorry, I'm just trying to find my graphic from yesterday. Why can't I see it? Newcastle injury updates. There you go. The quote was, "We're going to see today. Callum has had very minor hamstring tightness, so not an injury but tightness. We'll give him every chance of being available. Same with Sven. We'll make a late check on him." So we'll give him every chance of being available, and he has minor hamstring tightness. So I think there is a decent chance that Wilson's involved, but we just don't know. Is the sad truth. True Fandela says, "Hi, on my wildcard, Trippier and Botman or Zuma/Agard. If either of Botman, Zuma, Agard, I will bench in game week 8 or 9 and then sell for Estepinian in game week 10. So 1 week punt." If it's a 1 week punt, I think Zuma. If it's a 1 week punt, I think Zuma. Matoma to Diaby helps with structure for the future. If that's the case, Hayden, I don't mind that. Cameron says, "Hi Ross, what do you think of DCL against Luton as at home as a 1 week differential punt with a game week 8 wildcard?" Yeah, I don't mind it. Do we know that Calvert-Lewin's definitely going to start? If we know that Calvert-Lewin's definitely going to start, I've not really been looking into it, then I don't mind it. If there's any doubt, I think I like Antonio. I think if I was going for a 1 week punt on a striker, it would probably be Antonio. Clive says, "Would you start Alderkill ahead of Cash?" Yeah, I probably would actually, you know. I probably would. Ferguson to Darwin, Eze to DRB, roll the free transfer. I like... That's a tough one. I think both of those look good to me. I would probably lean Ferguson to Darwin, though. Play Eze or Cash, Callum says. I would play Eze. Saley's boyfriend is ripping her off. She always does the super chat. This is true, isn't it? This is true. Marcus says, Bayer or Saliba to start? I might actually go Saliba there, you know. I don't know. Nature and Travel says, so you're saying Foden over Sterling, regardless of City's future fixtures. Also, how's their data looking? Yeah, I prefer Foden to Sterling, regardless of fixtures. Fixtures only give you so much. If the player's stinky, then the fixtures don't matter. We saw that with Jackson and Sterling. So, if we're looking at data, Foden's XGI per 90 is rubbish. Oh wow. God, that is bad. Foden's data's naff. I did not realise that. Okay, maybe Foden's not the player I thought. I haven't looked at Foden's data in a while. Sterling's isn't great either. Sterling and Foden both suck. I just think that Foden's a better player. And I feel like if he gets a chance, he's more likely to take it. So I would back keeping Foden ahead of Sterling. Personally. Right. Sard says, is Saka to Bruno a good move even if Saka starts? No, I don't think so. Hi, Ross. Any update on Saka? I joined the stream late. Saka has travelled with the squad. That's all we know. Matthew says, Mbeumo or Estepinian to start. Mbeumo. Akil says, should I sell Saka or Sterling to Bowen/Son? Double up on the Spurs ahead of the curve. I don't think you need to sell Saka or Sterling this week. I think a lot of people are rushing transfers that would be better made next week, in my opinion. Fuel Your Grind says, thoughts on Estepinian to Trippier? It's fine, but I think you'll want Estepinian back in game week 10 or 11. So as long as you've got a plan to get Estepinian back, I don't necessarily hate it. Because the next few fixtures just aren't great for Brighton. Ross, we're 16 members off 3,500 on Discord. Everyone join the Discord. Harris will now spam the link in the chat. We're only 16 members away from 3,500. It's basically, if you've not joined Discord before, it's a sorry, I had to mute myself there. I coughed. It's a free server where you can basically chat with FPL with lots of other people. So it's like a little community where you can chat about FPL. You can ask for advice of your team. There's also weekly content on there as well. So make sure to join the Discord. It's completely free to do, and we're almost at 3,500. Saka stinks away from home, Ross. Don't I know it? I'm the one that's been telling everyone that Saka stinks away from home. But it is also Saka, and it is also Bournemouth. So I think you do need to take into account context with that. AI is suggesting playing Estepinian ahead of Saka. I don't agree with AI on that case then. So we've got just over half an hour until the deadline, chat. So do make sure you're starting to think about what you're doing with your team. Do we have any Saka news? We don't have any Saka news, but I would be pretty confident he starts. Will I say that you can hold me to that? No. But yeah, I would feel I would say I'm like 80% sure that Saka starts. He's travelled with the squad and it's Saka. That's it. I know he should probably be rested, but he probably won't be. So I think Saka will start. Do you think Son will start? So to recap, I think Son will start. I think Maddison will start. I think Saka will start. I think Saliba will start. I think Botman will start. And I think there's a good chance Wilson starts. So all of those players that you're sat there looking with flags in your team, I can't confirm that any of them will start, but I think there's a very good chance they all do. The only definitive news we've had is that Saliba and Saka have travelled with the squad. That's the only definitive news that we have at the moment. But we might get stuff in the next half an hour. Tafan Official says, bench Estepinian and start Cash. Yeah, I would start Matty Cash ahead of Estepinian, probably. JD95 says, Kabore, Udogi, or Estepinian for your third defender. If you've got the funds, Udogi's definitely the one to go for. Oh, what, this week? If it's this week, Kabore, absolutely. If it's on a wild card, maybe Udogi. But yeah, if it's this week, you've got to back Kabore, I think. If you've got Kabore in your team, I don't see any reason not to sell him. Sonny says, hit for Osula to Ferguson and Chilwell to Kabore. I don't know why you'd bring in Ferguson now. Ferguson wouldn't be the one I'd be going for now. I'd be going for like a Morris or an Alvarez or a Darwin or a Højlund. Nature and Travel says, sell one of Foden, Sterling, Bruno, and Rashi for Gordon for a hit. Other transfers, Chilwell for Trippier. No, I would keep those 4 and not take the hit. I'd keep those 4 and not take the hit. Luka Dean is a good differential. He is, but Moreno will be back soon. And as soon as Moreno's back, I think that provides heavy competition for Luka Dean. JK17 says, if you had to use wildcard this week, who would you swap? This would be my wildcard draft if I was wildcarding this week. That would be my wildcard draft. Like I said, this was actually made before the... This was made before the Botman update, so I may well have Botman in there instead of Fabian Schär. But that would be roughly what I'd be going with on a wild card. I would equally like to get Bowen in there and stuff like that, and I might well have Udogie in there. But this is roughly what I'd be with on a wild card. How's Saka? Saka has travelled with the squad, and my prediction is that Saka and Saliba both start. That's all I can give you at the moment. But I think they should both start personally. Will João Pedro start? I've given up trying to predict Brighton. I find Brighton trickier to predict than Pep. Genuinely, I find De Zerbi's thought process very strange. So I don't know if João Pedro starts or not. I'm sorry. I won't even pretend to try and understand. Do we have any early Brighton or Villa team news on that note? I haven't seen anything yet, no. But I'll keep an eye out. The thing is, we don't really tend to get early team news on Brighton and Villa. That is the issue, is that they're not really teams that we tend to get too much on. Yep, I know a lot of people are joining late. So just to recap, we don't have any more updates on any of the Newcastle players, other than the fact that Botman and Wilson, it was looking promising. They were going to train, and if they were available, they'd be available. So we don't really have anything definitive on the Newcastle assets. On the Spurs assets, we know that Maddison and Son have trained, and that we know that they got through that training without many issues. So that's good. Saliba and Saka have travelled with the squad. We know that. And my prediction, with relative confidence, is that Saka and Saliba will start. But I don't obviously know that. There's no way for me to know that. BW123 says, okay, you've given me your team. 2 free transfers, don't want to waste one. I think with that team, probably the most sensible transfer is Eze to Bowen, or Eze to Diaby, or Mabama to Morris, and then bench Eze. I feel like looking at that attack, I don't have an issue with Eze at all, but just for this week, and maybe for the future, Eze looks like the biggest issue. If you already had Fabian Schär and now an injured Chilwell, who would you get in for Chilwell if you can't afford Trippier outright? Probably Botman. Botman, Zuma, or Cash would be my top 3. That goes for a wild card as well. I think Botman, Zuma, Cash would be my top 3 interested defenders. Marcus says 8 games today. Reminds me of when I was a lad in the 1930s. You're not that old, Marcus. You're close to being that old, but you're not quite that old. Yeah, there are a lot of games today, aren't there? Let's have a look. Yeah, look at that. Loads of 3 p.m. kickoffs. Jeez. I mean, only 1 game tomorrow on Sunday. Forest versus Brentford at 2 p.m. 1 game on Monday. 1 game on Tuesday. So my transfer plans video will be out after the Forest Brentford game. Maybe I'll get out. No, I won't. That's a lie. I'm not even going to say that. It'll be on Sunday afternoon still. But yeah, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 3 p.m. games. These are going to be absolute crackers. Villa versus Brighton, cracker of a game. All of those 3 p.m.s, and then Spurs versus Liverpool. Like, what a Saturday this is for football. Just a reminder, you've got just over 20 minutes until the deadline. People have been asking for a counter. I just can't work out the best way to do it. So once I work out the best way to get a counter for the deadline, I will let you know. So yeah. Yeah, it's not particularly a Super Sunday, is it, Harris? I agree. Gabriel or Estepinian to start? Gabriel. Watkins or Darwin for the next 3? Love. That was it, just love. Love. Back to you. I would go for the next 3. I'd still go Darwin. Oh, I love me a bit of Darwin. Wait, what? Someone's been a member for 11 months and their name is Saley's ex-boyfriend. The Saley drama continues. If you've been tuning into the content for a while, you'll know who Saley is, or the live streams, at least. Someone just said, hi, random one, just found your channel. Are you from Nottingham? I feel like I've seen you before at Pure Gym. Yes, I am from Nottingham and I do go to Pure Gym. See, that will have been me that you've seen. Say hello to me next time I'm in the gym, by all means. The absence of the wheel is notable. What do I spin the wheel for, Marcus? I've got no decisions this week. Sorry, chat. I'm struggling with my throat. That sounds a bit sus, doesn't it? Bulldog to Kabore to bench Saliba, Estepinian, or roll. No, just play Saliba. Just play Saliba. Hello, I've just tuned in. Have I missed anything? I don't think so. Just classic, just me rambling on about nonsense for 2 hours. Hi, I've only just joined. What are your transfer plans? Unfortunately, very boring. But I'm just going to probably roll the transfer. I didn't want to say hi and it wasn't you. No, that's fair enough. Well, it is me. You can now say hello. You can now say hello. Pickford will score a hat-trick. Listen, if Pickford ever keeps a clean sheet, I want you to know that I will be bloody unbearable on Twitter. I will be celebrating it. Like you wouldn't believe. Like, I would mute and block me if Pickford ever keeps a clean sheet. I would go as far as saying if I could hope for one outcome in my team this week, it's probably a Pickford clean sheet. I need it. I need it in my life. And preferably not just a 6-point. Oh, there's my camera gone. Preferably not just a 6-pointer. You know, it would be nice to actually get... It'd be nice to actually get like a Pickford 10, 11, 12-pointer. You know, like do a Leno. We'll call it a Leno. That would be nice. Is Saka starting? So Saka has travelled with the squad. And my prediction, and I said with roughly 80% confidence, is that Saka will start. That is my prediction. Oh, if Pickford keeps a clean sheet, chat. And you know why it would mean so much more this week as well? Is because he's playing against Luton and everyone else is going to own Morris. So if Pickford can keep out Morris, it will just make me additionally happy. Especially as I think my girlfriend's bringing in Morris. And I'm going to have to sit there next to her today while she celebrates Morris wiping out my Pickford clean sheet. Yeah, she's bringing in Morris. Nice. That's going to be fun, isn't it? You missed my super chat. Sorry, chat. I wasn't looking at the super chats for a second. Let me get back to it. Start Saka over 1. Foden, Bowen, Maddison, and Gordon. I'd probably start Saka over Maddison. They're just about. Who to vice captain? Salah, Alvarez, or Saka? Vice captain, Alvarez, I think, probably. Not that it probably matters. I have Haaland and Morris up top. 1.6 million in the bank to replace Chilwell. I already have Botman. Who would you go with? Probably Trippier, honestly. Probably Kieran Trippier. How about Sofao over Zuma? Yeah, I think Sofao, Zuma, Emerson, Agurd, like, it doesn't really matter out of all of those West Ham defenders. They all look pretty nailed at the moment. Play Cash or Estepinian? Probably just about Cash. You should tattoo Saka who travelled with the squad to your forehead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you're someone that tunes into the entire stream and I repeat myself a lot. It's part and parcel of these streams. But I do apologise. Looking good, Ross. Have you had a haircut? That's outrageous. I love it, though. Do you know, I was going to try and keep a straight face and pretend that's actually a good one. Estepinian or Mbermo? Actually, no, do you know what? I did have a haircut. I shaved my head last night, so thank you very much. Estepinian or Mbermo? I would always favour the attacker, especially when they're on penalties, than the defender. PSV says, on a wild card, would you rather have Porro and Bruno or a 4.5 defender and Son? Probably a 4.5 defender and Son, but Porro's data has been really good. Maybe going under the radar, Pedro Porro. And Bruno is a great option. I don't think that's particularly straightforward, but I just think I'd like to have Son in my team, to be honest. Love the video. Start Johnston or Turner. Thank you very much, Callum. I think my answer is Turner, but I don't think it's obvious. I think I'd say like 60% Turner, 40% Johnston. Because Johnston's playing in the better defence. Man United aren't great, and he makes a lot of saves. But I just think Turner's at home. We know how good Forest are at home. Brentford have been struggling a little bit recently. And I just think he's got a slightly greater chance for a clean sheet. And also, Turner does make saves as well. It's not like he's a keeper that doesn't make saves. Smells like yellow, 182, says sell Chilwell, Saka and Bruno for Cher, Gordon and Salah. For a -4. Do you know what? I love getting Salah in, but I can't sit here and tell you it's a good move to take a -4 to remove Saka and Bruno. I just can't do that. You're removing two penalty takers that are usually guaranteed for 90 minutes with great data, with pretty good fixtures. Like I can't sit here and tell you to do that. As much as I love Cher, Gordon and Salah coming in, I can't get behind that massively. Will Maguire start today? Honestly, I think he probably will, yeah. Which isn't great. But it is what it is. Why Cash over Estepinian? Slightly better data in recent weeks, and he's got the home fixture. So I think he's been slightly more attacking, especially with Bailey now injured. Cash essentially can play like a right winger. So I actually think Bailey's injury is really, really positive for Cash, assuming that it is him that takes up that sort of Bailey position. So I really like him. Foden and Alvarez start as per FPL newsletter. Let's move over there. By the way, chat, you've got 15 minutes until the deadline. If you've not already made your transfers, I would consider doing it soon. Foden and Alvarez start. That's very early team news, by the way. That's 5 hours ahead of kickoff. So if you were considering going with Foden or Alvarez, if you own them, to be fair, like City team news is so easy at the moment. Like that, I'm not even interested. Like I knew Foden and Alvarez were starting. So, I mean, it's good to get confirmation, but City is not an issue at the moment. Pep is quite easy to predict just due to the injuries that they've got. And also the slightly thinner squad this year. What on earth is that? So confused. That's what my hair could be like, chat. I could have hair like that. If I wanted to. Maybe I should. Chat, what do we think? Would you like me to do my hair like that? Maybe. Tony says, bench one of Foden, Diaby, Watkins, Saka. Watkins? Thoughts on Sterling for Bowen? I feel like Sterling is damaging rank even though the data looks good. If you have lost faith in Sterling, Sterling to Bowen looks good, but I'm going to give him one more week. I'm going to remove Sterling next week. But I'm giving Sterling one more week. That's just my opinion on it. But yeah, if you're convinced that he's not gonna return, then of course Bowen looks like a really nice option for this week. Do you have any Saka news? I don't think we've got anything yet, but I'm almost certain Saka and Saliba will start. Saka in particular, I just think there's no chance. Like, he's travelled with the squad. Saka will start, I'm sure of it. Well, I'm not sure of it. I shouldn't say that. I think he will. I think Saka will start. Sorry if I'm wrong on that. I'm not deliberately feeding you misinformation. That's just my opinion on it. Start 2 of Saliba, Kabore, and Burmo. I would start Kabore and Mbeumo and bench Saliba. Calvin says Martinelli to Sterling and save 2.1 in the bank, or Martinelli to Son and have 0. Martinelli to Son. Apparently there is something going round. I know, chat, I tried saying this 2 or 3 times. That YouTube's broken. I can't access the super chats in the way that I normally do. It just disconnects the chat. So I'm having to try and keep up with it in the normal chat, and it makes it impossible. So I really do apologise if I missed anyone's. Saka and Saliba starting now, according to Now Arsenal. Cool. Let's have a look. I would probably stop doing super chats now, chat, because I can't keep up to it because I'm not looking at the chat all the time. Now. It's now _ Arsenal, isn't it? Yeah, there they are. Saliba and Bukayo Saka start. They're quoting it from Odds on FPL. Who's Odds on FPL quoting it from? Who's he getting that from, though? He's not even given a source. I wouldn't trust that fully, but to be honest, I think that's all correct. That would honestly be my prediction as well. But I've been saying that for 2 hours. I think all of the flag players that you're worried about will all probably start. And I do think this is probably true. But Odds on FPL that they've cited as the source is saying that it's not his source. And he's not given his source. So that doesn't really help us much at all. Chat, you've got 12 minutes until the deadline. And if you are enjoying today's stream, please do drop a like. Make sure to subscribe as well. We do these deadline streams every single week. Yeah, just do it. Why not? And also, very, very briefly, I am doing a giveaway at the moment over on Instagram. All you have to do is follow my Instagram and like my 2 pin posts. There's one of me with the main man Storms and one of me with the main man Chunks. All you have to do is follow, like both of those posts, and you can enter the 100,000 subscriber giveaway. And 5 people will be winning a Premier League jersey of choice. So make sure to do it. There is a link in the description, or just type in at FPL __Raptor. Will Saka start? Yes, I think Saka will start, yes. When does the giveaway end? The giveaway ends at the Game Week 7 deadline, so you've got 11 minutes to enter. I'll be doing I'll be sorting out the giveaway today, and then I'll announce it either tomorrow or Monday. FPL Pickle says moves have been made. Interesting. Yeah, I would make sure that you make your moves ASAP. Make your moves ASAP. Is Doku starting? I don't think we've got news on Doku, sadly. But it appears that Alvarez and Foden are starting. And then I think it will be one of Doku or Grealish. If you were asking me to predict, I would predict it's Doku and not Grealish. But again, I don't know that for certain. Pellistri starts as per FPL newsletter. Is that good for Hoyland owners? Yeah, I love Pellistri starting. That's actually very nice, isn't it? Yeah, for those of you out on the wild card, Pellistri at 4.4 million starts for Manchester United. There we go. If you do want to take a punt on Pellistri, I don't hate it. But the issue is we don't know that he starts next week and the week after that and stuff like that. So. Do we have Saka news? No, just that I think he'll start. Just that I think he'll start. Apparently, Ruben Diaz starts as well. So Ruben Diaz starts, Alvarez starts, Foden starts, Haaland starts. I think that's it. We don't have anything on Doku at the moment. We don't have anything on Gvardiol, Akanji, Ake. I haven't seen anything on any of the other Man City defenders other than Diaz, who apparently is starting. Do you have any Aston Villa or Brighton news? I actually haven't seen anything on Aston Villa or Brighton at all, to be honest. Sadly. Do you have any Anthony Gordon or Botman news? Nothing yet, other than just what we already know. For what it's worth, I think Botman will start, and I think Gordon will start. I think Gordon and Botman will both start, but I don't have any news, unfortunately. Well, at least I've not seen anything definitive. I'll check Twitter again now. Yeah, no, I can't see anything, but I think they will start. Is Saka playing? As far as I'm aware, yes, Saka is going to be able to play. I would predict that Saka starts. Someone convinced me, Wilson and Diaby or Foden and Morris. I prefer Wilson and Diaby, Frosty, but I'm not going to convince you either way because I think that's pretty close. Trust your gut feeling on that one, mate. You have got 7 minutes until the deadline. Make sure that you are thinking about locking in your team and getting those transfers sorted. Are we rolling today? I think I'm going to be rolling, yeah. Unless I get something in the next 5 minutes, which makes me doubt that. I think I'll be rolling. Is Maddison playing? Yeah, I would expect Maddison to play, for sure. Check Luke for the City lineup. What has he posted it? So Luke is predicting the City defense to be Ake, Diaz, Akanji, and Walker. Which would mean that if he is correct, Gvardiol isn't starting, and he is predicting Doku to start as well. So, okay. So there you go. If you have got Gvardiol, maybe you're not expecting him to start, but that's not news. It's just a prediction. Colwell or Estepinian? I would start Estepinian there, actually. I would start Estepinian. But that's not it is a close one. It is a close one. Would you get Morris and start him over in Burmo? I don't hate it, but I also don't love it. Sorry, chat. The stream dropped out for a second there again. Blame OBS. Sterling or Maddison? I would go just about Madders. Just because Spurs are a better team. But the fixture's definitely there for Sterling. But Maddison's playing better. Spurs are a better attack. So I would maybe lean that way. Areola or Pickford? I would go Areola ahead of Pickford. You've got 5 minutes until the deadline. Make sure you lock in those teams. So the team news that we've had definitively is Foden starts, Alvarez starts, Haaland starts, and Diaz starts. They're the only 4 that I've had confirmed. Around Saka and Saliba, they've travelled with the squad, as I've said loads of times, and I would expect relatively confidently that Saka and Saliba will start. but I could be wrong. That's a prediction rather than having inside knowledge. It's just a prediction. And then around Botman and Gordon and Wilson, I would expect most of the key Newcastle assets to start as well. So I think most of your flags in your team will probably be fine. Is sort of that last minute update that you can get. Would you sell Saka for a -4? I wouldn't be selling Saka. That's it. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. I wouldn't sell Saka. I obviously don't have Saka, but if I had Saka now, this would not be a week that I would be selling Saka. Why Botman ahead of Estepinian? I just think Botman's got a much greater chance for a clean sheet. It's as simple as that. Would you bench boost this week? I just think due to the injury doubts, I wouldn't bench boost this week. Just because, let's say that I am wrong and Saliba or Botman miss out, all of a sudden you've got one less player on your bench boost. Then let's say I am wrong and Saka misses. Do you know what I mean? Like, I do think most of these players will start, but I wouldn't feel confident enough to play the bench boost as a result personally. Would you start Kabore ahead of Cash? Yes, I would. Yes, I would. Gvardiol versus Estepinian. I would start Estepinian because it sounds like Gvardiol could be benched. Potentially. Not definitely, but potentially. 2 minutes until the deadline, guys. Make sure you're locking in those teams. Make sure you sort out your vice captaincy, all that lovely stuff. I actually think I'm going to vice captain Alvarez now that we know he starts. Not that it matters at all, to be honest, because Haaland starts. So I don't need my vice captain. But there we go. To be honest, Alvarez could be the best vice captain every single week. The reason I say that is if Haaland starts, then you captain Haaland anyway, and it doesn't matter. But if Haaland doesn't start, then Alvarez almost definitely will. So Alvarez may well be the best vice captain every single week. Every single week that you're captaining Haaland anyway. If you're not captaining Haaland, then Haaland's the best vice captain, if that makes sense. Estepinian or Udogi, I would start Estepinian ahead of Udogi. What are your thoughts on Ward-Prowse? I don't mind him as an option at all. Go for it. His data's been really, really good. He's on set pieces. West Ham are really good from set pieces. He's got a great shot from outside the box. He's playing in a slightly more advanced role for West Ham. I am struggling to get rid of my previous biases around Ward-Prowse, but he's an absolutely fine option. I have no issue with him at all. Mbeumo or Maddison? I would start... I'd maybe be tempted to start Madders, you know? I think Mbeumo's just not been quite at it, has he? And Forest are pretty good at home. But the fixture is much better. I don't know. That's a really tough one. That is honestly a 50-50 there. Maybe because Mbeumo's on penalties, that leads you back towards him. It's not an easy one at all. Sorry, chat. I don't like not being able to give you an answer. You've got less than a minute till the deadline. Make sure your team's locked in. I just want to refresh, make sure I'm all good. Yep. Yep. Stop asking questions and just get your teams locked in. Yes, I think Saka will start, but we don't have a definitive answer on that. But I do think that Saka will start. Right, by the time you hear my voice, chat, I think that will be it. That will be the deadline locked in. That was quite eventful, actually. Considering I rolled, I think that was quite eventful. Some people saying Saka starts, but I don't think we have a definitive update. But like I said, I think he will, so it's fine. All right, that is it. Definitely deadline now locked in. We are done. But obviously, don't leave. Again, I'll carry on streaming for at least half an hour. And this is the best part of the stream, so stick around. But if you are going to, on your way out, make sure to drop a like. Make sure to subscribe to the channel as well. There will be a video tomorrow, so tune into that. Yeah, we gained a couple of 100 subscribers again, which is nice. Oh, chat. I'm tired, as per usual. Feel free to ask any questions, as always. I just woke up. That's outrageous. It's outrageous. Right, what did my girlfriend do? Sent me a team. Morris and Trippier in. You know when I spend a week saying I'm not keen on Morris and she's like, haha, I'll get Morris. No, I respect it. I respect it. Tweet your team, Ross. Ah, thank you for the reminder, FPL Pickle. I completely forgot to do that. I already had it. I already had it prepared. I'm just gonna get abused for still owning. I'm just gonna get abused for still owning Sterling and Man United mids, but oh well. Who is we? Wait, did I say we? Wait, what? What rank is your girlfriend? You're not gonna be able to check now, are you? 1.2 mil. 1.2 mil. So, better than half my rank. I think she's like 10, 15 points ahead of me. 10 points ahead of me-ish. Giveaway winner reveal early. I need to find the app, not the app, like the website that does the randomization. But I will be doing the giveaway either this weekend or early next week, and I'll announce it on YouTube and Instagram and stuff. Ross, when did you get a girlfriend? We've been dating for a few months, and I got a girlfriend almost exactly a month ago. Ross has a girlfriend. What have I missed? Where have you been? She's right there. There. And no, she's not an imaginary girlfriend. Before you all start giving me grief, you know, she exists. Why are you sitting here instead of her? Where's that kinky message? I don't understand what that means. Is she snoring this week? She actually was about an hour ago. To be fair to her, she got up at 5 a.m. Chat, how cute is this? She got up at 5 a.m. to get a 6:30 a.m. train to come to Nottingham. What? Yeah, you were snoring. It's only a little bit though. Yeah, she got up at 5 a.m. to come to me before the deadline stream. How sweet is that? So we can cut her some. Your girlfriend is Mubama. I said that's my girlfriend and pointed at Mubama. Yes, my girlfriend is Mubama. I created an Instagram account just to enter the competition. In that case, I hope you win. I hope you win. Sure, she's right there. She is right there. Are you sure she exists? Chat, why? Bro's talking to himself. Ross, stop talking to your wall. Can you say something? No, you don't want to. Oh, now this looks even worse. Listen, she exists. Why are you talking to your wall? Oh, my Lord. I'm not talking to my wall. Yeah, we believe you, buddy. Right. Do you know what? If she exists, let her say something. She's feeling shy, apparently. There is definitely just a mirror to he's right. Let her wave her hand only. She won't do that. Put your hand on the screen then. Just your hand like this. Just like this. No one will be able to tell. Just a hand like this. She doesn't want to. Is she a he? No, she is a she. It's all fun and games, Ross. It's not fun and... Do you know what? Chat, you do my nutting sometimes, honestly. Can she wave? No, she said she doesn't want to, sadly. Chat. Does she live far from Knots? No, not too far. Not too far. Get a glove for her. That would be creepy, wouldn't it? I think I've got a golf glove in my cupboard. Imagine it. Just this little tickling hand just comes out with a golf club on. Stop lying, Ross. Chat, for goodness sake. Stop lying. Can she sneeze at least? I don't think you can force yourself to sneeze. She's got no hands. Let her throw something for you to catch. That just would be so dangerous. Please don't throw anything at me that's gonna... I've got a water here. That looks really sus if you throw that at me. What? There's nothing ready to throw. Don't throw my laptop. Botman and Saka start confirmed. No, I don't. I don't want to. No, I don't want to. Okay, there you go. She's throwing toilet roll at me. This is nice. There you go, chat. Hopefully you just saw me get struck by... Let me see her feet. Right. No. Naughty. Naughty chat. I'm not buying it. What you... Ross is dating Obama. Ross has a rebound net. Ross got his mum to pretend. I don't live up. Do you know what? This is your fault for not showing your hand. All you had to do was this. Don't laugh. It's not funny. Text his mum to chuck something at him. You're walking through... Chat, you're so outrageous. You grind my gears. You do my head in, honestly. I sense a frying pan moment coming up. You're just going to see me get struck with something in the face. Let her laugh, you donut. She's laughing quietly. She's going... Show her bank account details. What? Chat, you've been a bit weird. You can say stuff a bit louder if you want, because then they'll actually hear that you exist. Obama is shy. Going to be saying thanks to your mum after the stream. I don't live with my mum. My mum's like 2.5 hours away. I want to kiss your head. Hello. No, it's not your head to kiss, unfortunately. Show us her team. I can do that. She sent it to me a minute ago. This is... The thing is... Oh, yeah, I think I have to switch to my green screen, don't I? One sec. Because otherwise the green... That's our team. She brought in Trippier and Morris this week. Oh, the lighting went weird there. There you go. Oh, chat, did you see the brownie she got me? I don't know if you saw it. She got me a 1 kilo brownie. I've still got about 700 grams of said brownie left to eat. He's talking to his mum. Do you know what? I hope you're happy with yourself. I hope you're happy that now people think that I'm either dating my wall Obama or I'm talking to my mum. I also brought in Trippier and Morris. She will definitely outscore you this week. Fantastic. Way better than your team. Thank you. I told you, she's like 10 to 12 points ahead of me. It's not good. Who do you love more, Lady Egg or 100k? Lady Egg. You made yourself a cake. I didn't make myself a cake. This is your fault. Everyone thinks I'm just a sad loser that's talking to a wall. Make her slap the egg. Will you slap the egg? She said no. Does she call you Daddy Egg? No. She should, though. Is Lady Egg boiled, scrambled, or fertilized? It's just no. Just outrageous. Boiled. Bring her on. I've asked her to speak and I've asked her to show her hand, but she's not feeling it today. So these things won't be happening. Ross is in the doghouse tonight. I'm never in the doghouse. I'm a fantastic boyfriend. Boiled egg, are you saying she's dense? Yeah, she is on the dense side. Oh, now I'm in the doghouse. Now, no, she's not. She's not dense. She's. I don't know if this was a physically dense, or a mentally dense. I would say no to both. Come and put your foot on his head. There are so many people with foot fetishes in this chat. Did you know that? this is chugging it back to last season. Did you know apparently 1 in 3 men have a foot fetish? Just giving you the research. And clearly a lot of people in this chat do, because a lot of people are asking to see our feet. Do you want to see my feet? You don't want to see my feet. They're not pretty. Bro paid a chat GBT friend to talk to. Ross is dating an AI girlfriend. Is she bald? Kinda. She does look like an egg. I'm gonna run a foot fetish poll. Do you like feet? Yes. This is an anonymous poll. So please vote honestly. No one will know what you voted other than you. I'm expecting it to be 66% no, 33% yes. Do you like feet? There you go. These are the important questions, chat. Now, did I think a couple of years ago that I would be streaming to 3,000 people talking about feet? No, I didn't. But here's what it is. When are you doing the giveaway? Tomorrow or Monday? I'm gonna have today off after now. I'm gonna go spend some time with my imaginary girlfriend. What have you sent me, Mr. Harris? Oh, God. Yeah, I know. See, this is what I'm saying. It's not quite a third at the moment, but 29% have said yes and 71% have said no. I'm telling you, approximately 1/3 of guys like feet. I guess there are girls in the chat as well. Do you like feet? She said yes. See, you can't defend yourself now. No, she doesn't like feet, don't worry. Maybe she does. Why don't you guys like feet? That's a good question. How much does she bench? Did she do 40 kilos? 35, was it? 35. Yeah. 35 kilos. But she only just started, she said. Oh, I heard her voice. Someone heard your voice. Yeah, that's okay. She exists. The joy in my face when you realise that she actually is real. No way is your sister. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, no, I swore. Demonetized. I'm sorry. If there are any under... What's the age for swearing? 18? 16? 15? 12? If there are any under certain ages that heard that swear word, I'm sorry. She has a cute voice, sorry to say. No, it's not. It's not. But she does have a cute voice. Are you sure that isn't your mum? No, it's not my mum. I don't live at home. I live by myself. I bet she benches more than you. Facts. Bro really recorded an audio of a female and played it. Do you know what? I'm sick and tired of your crap chat. Does she support a team? Yes. Villa. Sadly. So she said sadly. Ross, put your feet in your brownie and eat it. Right. What? What's this? When is her GCSEs? I'm not a... Chat, why are you making me out to be a nonce? That's not me. That's not me. Ross used TikTok AI generator. He's definitely going to prepare a fake hand for next stream. Where did you both meet? Through FPL, actually, believe it or not. This is slowly switching to OnlyFans. Wait till I take my top off. Dun, dun, dun. No, I'm not going to really. Haha, Villa, dump her and get a new AI girlfriend. Show us your cactus. Are you ready, chat? Here he is. Do you have a Saka update? It doesn't matter now, chat. The deadline's gone. Just relax. It is what it is. Whatever will happen, will happen. No, I'm not dating Alicia Lehman. Why does everyone think I'm dating Alicia Lehman? Is she a Villa fan? I didn't think she was a Villa fan. Maybe she is. Bro is dating John Cena. Stream live with her next time, please. Maybe in the distant future. I don't think that will happen anytime soon. Sorry. I should have said that I knew I was muted. I was just... We can read lips. You can't read my lips. I was saying this to someone the other day. Look at my lips as I'm speaking. This looks a bit sus. Look at my lips. I'm very difficult to lip read. I would be a deaf person's worst nightmare because my mouth doesn't really move and I speak very, very quickly. So it would be very difficult to try and guess what I was saying. Do you do Super 6 predictions? Yes, I need to do them now. Haha. This is like a free advert for Super 6, though. I don't know if I want to do this. When are you starting a Twitch channel, Ross? I don't know, Frosty. Do you think I should do it? I've always been very tempted. Just so that I can just sit here and talk about all sorts. My phone is dead, so I'm watching on my Xbox. Dedication. Love it. Marcus said, man's muted himself to have a chat with his girlfriend as 3,000 people wait. I do what I want. Fadar with the super chat says, hi again, Ross. 82 points last game week. Very nice. Now my team is Flecken, Botman, Saliba, Estepinian, Kabore, Salah, Bruno, Diaby, Son, Foden, Haaland. What do you think? I don't understand how your team always looks like a wild card, mate, but it looks really nice. It looks like you play a wild card every week. Clearly just a good FPL manager. So, chat, I'm doing Super 6. This isn't an ad at all. Like, I'm not asking you to download it, but I'm doing Super 6. What do we think I'm going to ask you as I'm doing it. What do you think the Man City versus Wolves score will be? So I'm doing the Man City Wolves game first. 3-0. 3-0? 3-0 Man City. Chat, what do we think? Everyone's saying 3-0 now. You've just put that in their head. 4-1, 4-0. Lots of 3-0s. 3-0, 4-0. I think they will keep a clean sheet. And I'm thinking maybe 2-0.
I nearly said that, to be fair.
I don't know, because it's away.
Yeah.
Let's go 3-0. Or will they concede? Wolves do create a lot. I'm gonna go 3-0 for now. Why don't you ask your mum? Well, I don't know because my mum's not here. Bournemouth versus Arsenal is the next one. Bournemouth versus Arsenal. It looks like I'm copying you now. No, I think they could score more. I'm gonna go 3-1. No, I think they'll get a clean sheet. I could see 3-0 there as well. Are you Volkanovski? No, I know a lot of people say that though. Bournemouth, Arsenal. People think Arsenal will concede quite a few 3-1s, 2-1s, 1-1, 2-0. Ask your girlfriend. She said 2-1. I'm going to go 3-0 again.
Okay.
2-0. I'm going to go 2-0. 2-0 Arsenal.
I hope so.
Yeah, that would... No, but the Saliba clean sheet would be nice.
Yeah.
Super chat from Adam D says, Areola, Cher, Trippier, Zuma, Almiron, Salah, Son, Bowen, Darwin, Haaland, Hoyland. What do you think? Haaland. I think that's a really nice wild card. Really nice, Adam. I like the Hoyland punt. I like Bowen in there. I like Darwin. I like Almiron. It's a wild card, but it's different slightly at least. Okay. Next game. Oh, I almost dropped my phone. Manchester United versus Palace. What will the Man United Palace score be? She's got a very soft voice.
Did you hear my prediction?
What did you say?
I said 1-0
1-0.
to you.
Oh, thanks. Back in Manchester. She hates Manchester United, which is quite upsetting, really. Can we give your girlfriend a fake name so we don't have to call her your girlfriend every time? Yeah, go for it. Call it whatever you want. I'm going to go 3-1. That's been my prediction. So my predictions so far are 3-0 City. Of course, Super 6 should really sponsor me. 2-0 Arsenal. And then 3-1 Man United.
Well, I don't know now because your defence is a bit.
They're going to call you Steve, apparently.
Okay.
Nice to meet you, Steve. Yeah, I just don't think our defence is very good, is it?
Yeah, no, I don't know now.
AI voices are getting so realistic. Oh, she seems to be getting a bit more confident with speaking. She is. She just takes a bit of warming up. Right, the next game. Newcastle versus Burnley. Her name is Mubama. Okay. Newcastle, Burnley. I'm going to go 2-0. 2-0 Newcastle, I think.
I agree.
Because I actually think that... Everyone says you've got a lovely voice. You do have a lovely voice. I think Newcastle are a great attack, but I actually don't think Burnley have been shocking defensively so far this season. I know the goals conceded wouldn't suggest that, but I don't think there's tons of goals in this game. But I do think that Newcastle at home will do enough to keep them out. So I'm going to go 2-0 Newcastle. Okay, so I've predicted 3 clean sheets so far. That's not going to happen, is it? Oh, this is the difficult one. Chat, this is the difficult one. Spurs-Liverpool. The 5:30 kickoff. I have no bloody idea, but I'm going to say 2-2.
Yeah, I was going to say 1-1.
1-1, yeah. They've actually not been terrible defensively, either of them. And in particular, it's like Liverpool have actually been okay.
People think high scoring.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because they're both such good attacks. They're two of the best attacks in the league, aren't they? But sometimes this kind of counters itself out when two good attacks play against each other. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Oh, or do I want to go 3-2? I've got 2-2 at the moment. Liverpool or Spurs? Who's gonna win it? I might actually go 3-2 Liverpool. I'm gonna go 3-2 Liverpool. I think Liverpool might have enough. I think Liverpool are getting underrated massively so far this season. They're the 5th best defence in the league and they're the 2nd best attack in the league. So I could see Liverpool doing well here. I'm going to go 3-2 Liverpool.
That scares me.
It does because I don't have any Liverpool players.
Yeah, I don't have some. I'm mad.
Yeah, I'm going to go 3-2 Liverpool. Okay, final game. Nottingham Forest versus Brentford. Which way do we see this going? I might go 0-0. No, that's not going to happen, is it?
I nearly said 0-0. That could be a 1-1.
I think I've got to back Brentford to win. I'm going to go 1-0 Brentford. No, Forest will score at home. I'm going to go 1-1. I know Brentford will be favourites for that game, but I know I should really back Brentford to win. But I've just got a feeling that Forest at home could get a draw.
Your prediction, I can't speak. Your prediction won't affect the outcome.
This is true. This is true. Very, very good point. What game is this, Ross? I'm hesitant to advise it because it's through Sky Bet, and I'm not. This isn't an ad or anything. I play this for fun. So it's called Super Six, but please beware that it is through like Sky Bet, and they will. The thing that I don't like about Super Six is that when you submit your predictions, they chuck loads of betting odds at you and try and get you to bet. So if you are susceptible to that and you don't want to, then just don't. But it's called Super Six. If you win, you get like £1 million or something. But you just you never get all 6 correct. Trying to predict one correct score is difficult. Trying to predict all 6 correctly is just never happens. Is it 1 million or is it 100,000? I can't remember. Oh, it's 250,000 now. Are you a betting man, Ross? No, I don't actually bet. People joining and just seeing the poll, they're like, what? Look, perfect. I'm going to end the poll there. And people say that I make stuff up, by the way. 67% have said no, they don't like feet. And somehow 32% have said yes. That doesn't even add up. But 33% have said yes. It is quite literally exactly 1/3 of men, or people, because there are women in the chat as well, like feet. I told you, people are weird. Sorry, I'm calling 1/3 of you weird. What did you vote, Ross? Hey. I only like your mum's feet. I'm sorry, that was really mean, Grant. I don't love your mum's feet. Well, not to say I don't love your mum's feet. I feel like there's no good way to get out of this. I'm sure your mum has lovely feet, but the feet aren't for me. You know, I'm not into the feet. What about if they have no feet? Your mum has no feet. Oh, I'm sorry, Grant. That's probably a sensitive subject then. FPL Pickles is digging, yeah. You know, is what it is. That's what I do. What I do. We get team news in 2 minutes for Aston Villa Brighton. And of course, because the missus is a Villa fan, we will be watching the Villa Brighton game. And I will be cheering on Villa because I'm a good boyfriend.
Did you predict that game?
No, they only do the 3 p.m. games onwards. That is a good question, though, chat. Aston Villa versus Brighton. Which way are we predicting Aston Villa versus Brighton going?
I'm not looking forward to this game.
I'm going to say 2-1 Brighton.
Yeah.
2-1 Brighton. Ross, what was your reason for Saliba over Estepinian? Arsenal were just really good away from home defensively. I don't know if I'm cheering on Estepinian. This is the issue, because I've got him first sub. But obviously I've got Botman and Saliba, so there is a chance that Estepinian plays, but I don't think he will. Ross, you've gone down in my estimations. Why? Am I the only one that genuinely likes armpits? Oh, for goodness sake. Yes, probably. I'm not running an armpit poll. That's where I draw the line. Did we gain any Instagram followers in today's stream? Let's have a look. 300. It's quite nice. Feel free to follow me on Instagram. There is a link at the top of the description. Or just type in at FPL__Raptor. That's me. This is me. Oh. Some nice Instagram pics on there. Oh, wait, I can show you the lady's hand. I uploaded a picture, didn't I? Which post was it in? Which one was it? Is it this one? There's a hand. There we go. There's a hand. This one here. I don't know why I said this one here. Obviously, the other one's my hand. Sorry, let's get back to Twitter and look at the team news. Actually, I'll do Brighton first. I feel like that's the one most people are interested in. Brighton team news is Ferguson starts, Estepinian starts, Matoma starts, João Pedro doesn't start. João Pedro's on the bench. So I think the only bad news there for FPL people, Hinshelwood. Who on earth is Hinshelwood? Should I know who Hinshelwood is? Damn, that's a nice hand. Well done.
Why is everyone saying I look old?
You look old.
Yeah, my hand looks old.
Who said that? Is she 50? I don't think your hand looks old at all.
No, what's it saying? Someone said she looks older than you.
She's not. She's 20, almost 22, so she's actually 4 years younger than me. And before you start giving me comments, chat, she's 22 is not young. I'm only 26. Okay, so don't start with your nonsense, but she is not older than me. Hinshelwood is my cousin's friend. Nice. Yeah, no surprise. Oh, the light's gone. No surprises there then, chat. With the Aston Villa lineup, Watkins, Diaby start, Luca Dean starts, Cash starts. Jacob Ramsey's still on the bench. I do think he'll get back into the starting 11 very soon though, because he's obviously very important to them. My light died. FPL nonce. Nonce. Okay, just lots of nonce comments. Nice. On that note, chat, as much as I love you, my light's gone off and I want to grab food. So we are going to call it there today, but I do very much appreciate you being here as always. If you have enjoyed today's stream, please make sure to subscribe if you are not yet subscribed. And best of luck for Game Week 7. I really need a green arrow. I can't be dealing with being 2 million for another week or even worse. So fingers crossed I get a green. I'll be back tomorrow for a transfer plans video. And going into Game Week 8, I actually have two free transfers. So we'll have plenty to do with them. All right. I love you all very much and I will catch you soon.